Before we get started, here's a few highlights from today's game.
2-2. That one is ripped to left field and deep. That ball is gone. See ya. A home run for Judge.
Reason to put him in the lineup.
That's hit hard. Way back in left field. That's gone. Austin Hayes.
Tendon becomes more of an option in the outfield because of the Aaron Hicks situation.
They're asking for the ball because that's a historic strikeout for Kluber. 1,500 for him.
Judge hit that home run in the first inning, extended a hitting streak to 5 consecutive games.
That one is drilled deep to right field. Going back, Stewart on the track at the wall. See ya.
He's in double figures. He can run him out of any ballpark, anywhere, line to line.
Mancini, first pitch swinging. Right field corner, Judge over, can't get it. Fair ball. Baker around third. Here comes the throw to the plate, and he is out. Tried to jump it.
High fly ball, deep right center. That could go. See ya. A pinch hit. 3-run home run for Gio.
Stick around for the post-game reaction, followed by an audience question and answer session. Don't forget to subscribe to the audio version of this podcast, The Frieze, by NYY Recaps. Before we get started, a quick word from our sponsor.
Support for NYY Recaps is brought to you by Manscaped, who are the world champions of below-the-waist grooming. Look, if you're using the same razor for your face that you're using on your bollocks, you're doing it wrong. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code NYY Recaps at manscaped.com. That's 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com. Use the code NYY Recaps. Your bulls will thank you. All right. In the words of the great philosopher Matthew McConaughey, Yankees win this one 5-4. The night started off kind of rough. We got the news that Giancarlo Stanton was out of the lineup with quad tightness. He gets hurt a lot, but I will say this for him. He heals very slowly. Also, it was announced that Aaron Hicks has a torn tendon sheath, for which the Yankees are going to let him try and play through for some reason. Just get him the surgery. And call it another lost year and bring up somebody who can play. Because he's hitting 200 with 2 healthy wrists. What do you think he's going to do with 1 bad one? Yankees wearing the camo hats tonight, which don't look good in my opinion. Look, you're called the Yankees. Your colors are red, white, and blue. If you want to honor the troops or whomever, just wear red, white, and blue camo so it matches your colors at least. Sure, you won't be able to hide in the woods from a sniper, but I'm pretty sure you're not going to have to deal with that on a baseball field. Now, because I'm in the Orioles market, the Yes Network broadcast was blacked out, so I didn't get to hear Ken Singleton, and he's my favorite color guy. So it was disappointing to say the least. And the Orioles had their backup announcers in there, their B guys, so it was just not fun. Now, top of the first inning, Judge trying to carry the team by himself because Stanton is out. Ties Stanton for the team lead with his 9th home run of the year, a bullet on a breaking ball that he just kind of clubbed over that short left field wall at Camden Yards. Bottom of the first, Austin Hayes ripped a hanger from Corey Kluber for a home run to left field to tie the game at 1. Both teams go quietly in the second. Bottom of the third, Kluber had the slider really working and the changeup. This was the nastiest movement I've seen from him all year, even in that game where he threw 8 shutout innings. His stuff was absolutely wicked during this inning. At least, I think it was Kluber. His head was camouflaged. I don't know. Top of the fourth, Judge hits his 2nd home run of the game. First Yankee to double digits. I remember last year he was almost the first player to double digits. He had 9 home runs when he got hurt. So I always root for somebody on the Yankees to be the first to 10 home runs. And it rarely happens anymore, but it did happen with Tino Martinez in 97, and I think it happened with A-Rod in 07, but hasn't happened much other than that. Then we get more of the annoying duplicity of Clint Frazier. First, he hits a laser beam, 112 miles an hour off the bat to left field, first single, and you're thinking, all right, something positive for Clint Frazier, great. But then Brett Gardner loops a single to left field, and instead of going halfway like you're supposed to do, and checking to see if the ball is caught. He turns back and heads to first base. I don't know, maybe he couldn't see it. But anyway, the ball drops and Frazier gets forced out at second base, pretty much kills the inning. Who's teaching these guys how to run bases? Do you remember the last time they were in Baltimore? He was on second base, taking a short lead, and there was a ball hit to his right to the shortstop, and he got thrown out by 15 feet. Remember I played the, oh no, oh no. I played that little meme. What is he doing on the bases? What is this guy doing? And I'm not a Clint Frazier hater. I want him to get his head in the game. That's why I had a problem with him signing autographs after his home run last week. He hits a 322-foot home run. He pimps it. And then he's signing autographs and trying to talk to Spike Lee. Dude, work on getting your head in the game. Head in the game. Doesn't matter what the score is. Head in the game. Kluber had an easy fourth inning and was quite efficient. Just 49 pitches and 5 strikeouts through 4. I checked the box score after this inning, and his ERA was 2.97. So under 3 for the first time all season. It would go back up. I believe the last time the Yankees had 2 starters with a sub-3 ERA in the season, and somebody may have to double check me on this one, but I looked it up. 1997, David Cohn and Andy Pettitte. I knew that they had both done it, but 2.82 and 2.88 respectively for Cohn and Pettitte. Top of the 5th, Yankees go quietly. By the way, that 97 team should have won the World Series. They should have. I thought they were just as good as the 96 team, if not better. Top of the 5th, Yankees go quietly. Tyler Wade pops out a bunt on a 3-1 pitch. And you'd swear, by the way, I'm ranting that the Yankees lost this game. But the fundamental baseball is you can get by with that against the Orioles. You can't get by with that in the playoffs. You face off against the White Sox or the Red Sox. Or maybe the Reds. I don't know what the Red Sox are. I haven't seen them live yet. But you face off with like the White Sox, maybe the A's, like a good team is going to beat you if you keep playing this bad fundamental baseball. I swear to God, Tyler Wade, for a guy who has absolutely no power and should be a role player who can come in and do the little things, play good defense, run the bases, lay down a bunt. The guy can't bunt, can't run the bases. He can play pretty good D, but Jesus. Bottom of the 5th, Orioles get a pair of doubles to make it 2-2, and then Pat Valaika singles to make it 3-2 Birds. Double by Mancini puts the Orioles up 4-2, but the Yankees nail a potential 5th run at the plate with a great relay throw. Team was starting to have that feeling like they were going to give up. I was not feeling good about it. Top of the 6th, Judge walks and Sanchez hits a 110-mile-an-hour bullet at the third baseman for a 5-4-3 DP. And at that point, I know that we're snake bet. I said, there's no way. There's no way. We're hitting the ball way too hard. I actually tweeted, the Yankees are hitting ropes. There's got to be a 3-run home run out there somewhere. Later. Little did I know. Little did I know. Orioles go quietly in the 6th. Top of the 7th, and Duhar picks up his first hit of the year, a rope. Urshela hits a pinch hit. 3-run home run after an incredible at-bat. Fouling off pitch after pitch after pitch. He must have fouled off 4 or 5 pitches. Tough pitches. Good pitches with 2 strikes on him. It was 2-2 and he fouled off multiple pitches. And then he hits one to the opposite field for a 3-run home run. He shows a lot of emotion going around the bases. And is there anybody on the Yankees who's more universally adored than Gio Urshela? I mean, since the days of like Jeter and Mariano Rivera, I mean, these guys are rare. These guys who the entire fan base universally adores. But Chad Green shuts down the Orioles in the 7th. Yankees go quietly in the 8th. Newest Yankee, Wandy Peralta, came in for the Yanks in the bottom of the 8th and got the job done. Chapman getting the night off, so Peralta comes back out for the 9th. Gives up a single, but my man, Johnny Lasagna, gets a double play grounder. Word to Miguel Andujar and DJ LeMahieu for turning the slick 5-4-3 double play. Orioles go quietly in the 9th, and you know what that means.
Ball game over. Yankees win. The Yankees win.
Justice Tubing says, there's literally nothing to dislike with Gio. The guy plays hard. He plays great defense. He's always in the game. You never see him make dumb base running mistakes. He never throws to the wrong base. He has good at-bats. Now, he's not always going to come through because baseball's tough and you're not going to get a hit every time, but for the most part, he's really reliable. He hits big clutch home runs. Who could forget that grand slam against the Indians in the playoffs last year? That was a titanic home run. Titanic home run. Pamela Davis says, DJ has been bad and it's gone unnoticed. I don't think he's been that bad. I mean, he's regressed some from last year. That's for sure. From the last 2 years. I mean, last year he won the Major League batting title. This year I think he's hitting, what, 260, 270, maybe 280. He's hitting singles. He had 2 hits tonight. I don't think there's anything that DJ LeMahieu did tonight that you can, call out, really. I mean, he had 2 hits. He played good defense. He turned a nice double play on that ground ball to Andujar in the 9th. I don't get the hate for DJ LeMahieu. The guy's been fantastic. Marcelo Marino says, what's the timetable with Stanton? Who knows, right? I mean, last year he was going to sit out a couple of days, and it ended up being a couple of months. It would have been a couple of months even if there wasn't COVID. We've heard all sorts of things from Stanton in the past. I don't think he's going to play tomorrow. I think the Yankees are going to be extra cautious with him and at least give him one more day off. At least. If he plays Sunday, I'll be surprised if he makes it through the game without coming out. Honestly, I hate to say this, but I think Stanton could be headed to the injured list again. I mean, the quad is a very important muscle in your leg. I mean, it's the biggest muscle in your leg. It's got 4 heads. That's why it's called the quad. And I just don't see him coming back right away from that. He heals very slowly. Emerson Santos says, bring up Florial. That's something to mention. Estevan Florial has been called up to AAA, not to the major leagues. He's been moved up to AAA. That means he's going to start seeing some better pitching. The Yankees obviously think that he's conquered AA. He's done really well against those pitchers down there. So, we'll see. Jason Kenobi says, DJ is hitting 271. The league average is 234. So that's a really great point. I rarely give out 2 sound effects.
Excellent.
But, he's hitting 40 points basically over league average. Lori C. Oh. Lori C says, get Stanton some Midol. D-Rod says, the only thing you can trade Sanchez for is a female softball pitcher, and the Yankees would be winning out on the trade. Hey, don't be insulting female softball players. Back when I used to play baseball, I remember a girl pitcher on the softball team challenged some of the hitters to see if we could hit against her, and we couldn't. It was nasty. Those ladies can bring it, so let's not be sexist. Elliot Johnson says, where is the consistency with this team? Yeah, the team's been pretty inconsistent. They did win this game, so I don't want to eat their lunch too much tonight, but this didn't feel like a great game from the Yankees. Aaron Judge hits 2 home runs, so he carries the offense a little bit. And then Gio, who wasn't even in the lineup, pinch hits and hits a 3-run homer. So I don't think that the rest of the lineup did very much. Clint Frazier was over. I don't think that Sanchez did much. He did hit 1 hard. Let's see. I'm trying to scroll through the comments because I fell way behind because I was on such a rant. At this point, says Yankees Jets fan, I don't think we can trade Clint for a hot beer and a cold pretzel. That sounds like a nasty combination, my friend. A-Man says, seems like yesterday the Yankees were to be Gary's team. So look, Gary Sanchez, I don't want to pin this on him not working hard. People say he doesn't work hard or whatever. I think he does work hard. I just think that maybe he might have some vision issues. I think that he swings too hard. It's a combination of things. I don't think he has a very high baseball IQ, which is something that you need out of the catcher position. I don't think he's a good defensive catcher. He never has been. The D-WAR on the analytics will say that he has been, but just use your eye test. I mean, how many times in the 7th, 8th inning has he let crucial balls go by? Sometimes it's not the volume of work so much as it is, letting balls get by you in the, tough situations, right? Gary Sanchez might have 3 or 4 good games behind the plate when the Yankees are crushing the ball, but you get to a tight game, it's like he tenses up back there. And look, he hasn't been able to hit for a couple years now. He's got power, but he doesn't make enough contact for it to matter. Turn 2 says, it was a good win, bro, with injuries considered. Hey, look, a win is a win. You got to win games against the Orioles when you have a chance. The Yankees are a better team than the Orioles. They should have won that game. I'm glad they did. Danny Corner says, trade Peraza for John Gray. What did Peraza ever do other than go deep last night? Fantastic young shortstop. Spade says, Higgy had some nice frames. Yeah, the umpire was given the ball off the outside part of the plate most of the night. So there were some really good good frame ups by Higgy back there. Lori C says, I think Gary is kind of dumb. I get that. You've been ripping on Gary harder than pretty much anybody. Marcelo Marino says, Voit opinions. Voit's off to a bit of a slow start, but that was to be expected. I mean, he hasn't played. He's a month behind. And AAA pitching is not Major League pitching. Even the worst Major League pitcher is better than the best AAA pitcher usually. Or, most of the AAA pitchers that you're going to face can't sniff the big leagues. And there's a lot of organizational depth that you hit off of in AAA. And so it's going to take him a few days to get his timing back, to get used to seeing the Major League breaking ball. That's the big thing. Major League breaking balls are no joke. They're so much better than minor league breaking balls. So it's going to take him a few days. In his first game, he hit one to the warning track. And then he showed a good eye a few times, and he hit one hard tonight. I think he's going to come out of it. I think he's probably going to have a home run in this series. I think he will go deep in this series. I don't know if he's going to, be a guy who hits 350, but I think he's a 270 hitter who's going to draw a lot of walks and hit for a lot of power. He won the American League, actually the Major League Home Run Championship last year. So my opinion of Voit is he will be fine. Jesus Vega says, it's amazing that we're only 2 games back and we haven't played our best baseball yet. But look, guys are starting to go down with injuries. So you had to make hay while everybody was healthy, and the Yankees didn't do that. They didn't take advantage of that time where they had Judge and Stanton both in the lineup, and they had Hicks in the lineup. These guys didn't play for they started off 5-10 for Christ's sake, or 5-11 maybe. You got to make hay during the early parts of the season because you can't get those games back. And so I feel like the Yankees are behind because they just were sleepwalking through the first couple weeks of the season. Jesse Dominguez says, hey, Derek.
Hello there.
Elliot Johnson says, early Judge bombs that set the tone of the game are so important. Yeah, Judge definitely can change the pace of a game early on. We've seen it in the playoffs a few times. He hits in the top of the lineup. So the Yankees haven't got a ton of early home runs. They haven't scored a ton of first inning runs all season, but Aaron Judge with the big home runs tonight. Mikal James says, I think Florial gets called up in 3 weeks. I don't think it'll be that long. I think it'll be probably a week to 10 days. Andy Batista says, Clint Frazier looks like concussion 2018 Frazier this year. Sorry to say. Well, he's looked better. He's looked better on defense in terms of some of the diving plays and stuff and his throws. But if you go to StatCast, and I did this today because I wanted to point this out to someone on Twitter who was defending Clint Frazier's play and saying, oh, he'll be fine, that he's got the worst jumps in baseball. He's one of StatCast's worst outfielders, and he hits the ball softer than 98% of the league. Even though he hit a couple of rockets over the past few days, hit one 116 the other night to center field, hit one 112 tonight, so he can make exceptionally hard contact from time to time, but he just misses too much. I think he's struggling with the higher spin rate that pitchers are getting, right? He's a guy who struggles against high spin rate, and we're seeing that across the league. That's why so many pitchers are trying to up their spin rate, because a higher spin rate makes it harder to hit on your fastball, on your breaking ball. And so you add a baseball that gets a higher spin rate naturally, and the guys who struggled the worst against those high spin rates are now going to struggle against most pitchers, and that's what you're seeing, and that's what Clint Frazier's doing. Yankees Jets fan says, if Hicks goes on the IL, you can bet Florial will called up and fast. Gardy can't be the only one can't be the one to take over center field. Yeah, I agree with you. I think you got to give it to the young man. He's been a prospect for a long time. Sometimes youth like that can really inject life into a team. You remember when they called Gleyber Torres up a couple years ago? He hit that big walk-off home run against the Indians, and that really set the Yankees in motion on a really nice streak. and Melky Cabrera joining a few years back, Francisco Cervelli, Chen-Ming Wong, and Robinson Cano. It goes on and on and on. Young players. Phil Hughes, 2007. Young players coming up to the team and having some success. If he comes up and has some success, it can really help the team. All right, guys, have a great Saturday. I will see you tomorrow night. Night game on Saturday, so tune in tomorrow, 7 o'clock for Yankees versus Orioles. I'll be back with the post game. I'll see you next time.